Mythic Truths. Astonishing Tales Confirmed by History. Chapter 1. The Resurrection of Osiris. Fact behind the Egyptian god's rebirth. Osiris, the ancient Egyptian god of the afterlife, resurrection, and fertility, is one of the most important deities in Egyptian mythology. His story of death and rebirth is a cornerstone of the Egyptian belief system, symbolizing the eternal cycle of life, death, and renewal. The tale of Osiris is not just a myth but is deeply rooted in the religious practices, historical events, and cultural consciousness of ancient Egypt. This chapter delves into the legend of Osiris, exploring its origins, the archaeological evidence supporting it, and the historical facts behind the god's resurrection. The legend of Osiris. The mythological narrative. According to ancient Egyptian mythology, Osiris was a benevolent ruler of Egypt who was murdered by his jealous brother, Set. Set dismembered Osiris's body and scattered the pieces across Egypt. Isis, Osiris's devoted wife and sister, embarked on a quest to find and reassemble his body. With the help of her sister Nephthys and other gods, Isis succeeded in gathering the pieces of Osiris's body. Using her magical powers, she resurrected Osiris, who then became the god of the underworld. Their son, Horus, later avenged his father's death by defeating Set. This myth encapsulates themes of death, dismemberment, reassembly, and resurrection, which are central to the Egyptian understanding of life and the afterlife. Osiris's resurrection was seen as a precursor to the rebirth of the deceased in the afterlife, and his story was celebrated annually in elaborate religious rituals. Osiris in Egyptian religion. Osiris's importance in Egyptian religion cannot be overstated. He was not only a symbol of resurrection but also a judge of the dead. His story provided a theological foundation for the Egyptian belief in an afterlife, where the deceased could hope to be resurrected and live eternally in the field of reeds, a paradise-like realm. The annual Osiris festivals, particularly the Koyuk festival, involved reenactments of his death and resurrection. These rituals were intended to ensure the fertility of the land and the continuity of life. The belief in Osiris's resurrection permeated all levels of Egyptian society, influencing funerary practices and tomb constructions. Archaeological evidence. Archaeological discoveries have provided significant insights into the worship of Osiris and the rituals associated with his resurrection. The Osirian at Abydos, believed to be a symbolic tomb of Osiris, is one such site. This subterranean structure features a central hall surrounded by water, symbolizing the primeval waters from which Osiris was reborn. The presence of numerous cenotaphs and stelae dedicated to Osiris at Abydos underscores the god's importance and the widespread devotion he commanded. Artifacts such as the Osiris bed, found in tombs, were used in rituals to symbolize the rebirth of the deceased in the likeness of Osiris. These beds, often made of stone or wood and adorned with carvings and inscriptions, were thought to help the deceased achieve resurrection. Osiris and agricultural cycles. One prevalent theory is that the myth of Osiris is closely linked to the agricultural cycles of ancient Egypt. The annual flooding of the Nile, which deposited fertile silt on the land, was essential for crop growth. This natural cycle of flooding, planting, and harvesting paralleled the mythological cycle of Osiris's death and resurrection. Osiris's rebirth symbolized the renewal of life that came with the Nile's inundation. The association of Osiris with grain is evident in the Osiris beds, which were often planted with seeds that germinated during the Koyuk festival. This ritual represented Osiris's resurrection and the promise of new life, reinforcing the connection between the god and the agricultural cycle. Political and social dimensions. The Osiris myth also had political and social dimensions. The story of Osiris's death and resurrection was used to legitimize the rule of the pharaohs, who were considered the earthly embodiments of Horus. By aligning themselves with Horus, the avenger of Osiris, pharaohs could claim divine authority and continuity with the gods. The conflict between Osiris and Set, and the subsequent triumph of Horus, may reflect historical struggles for power and territorial control in ancient Egypt. Set was associated with chaos in the desert, while Osiris was linked to order in the fertile Nile Valley. Their mythological battles could symbolize the perpetual struggle between order and chaos, civilization and wilderness. Modern discoveries and ongoing research excavations and new findings. Ongoing archaeological excavations continue to shed light on the cult of Osiris and the practices surrounding his worship. Recent discoveries at sites like Abydos and Saqqara have unearthed new artifacts, inscriptions, and tombs that provide deeper insights into the rituals and beliefs associated with Osiris. For instance, the discovery of new burial chambers and funerary objects inscribed with spells from the Book of the Dead has offered additional evidence of how the Egyptians sought to invoke Osiris's power to achieve resurrection and eternal life. These findings contribute to our understanding of the practical aspects of the Osiris myth and its role in daily religious practices. Scientific analysis. Advances in scientific techniques, such as radiocarbon dating and DNA analysis, are helping researchers to better understand the historical context of the Osiris myth. By analyzing the remains found in tombs and the materials used in funerary objects, scientists can reconstruct the timeline of Osiris worship and its evolution over millennia. Studies of plant residues on Osiris beds, for example, have confirmed the practice of growing grain as part of the resurrection rituals. Such evidence underscores the symbolic importance of agriculture in the Osiris myth and its deep roots in the natural environment of ancient Egypt. Conclusion. The resurrection of Osiris is more than a captivating myth. It is a foundational story that offers profound insights into the religious beliefs, cultural practices, and social dynamics of ancient Egypt. By exploring the archaeological evidence and historical context behind the legend, we can appreciate the multifaceted significance of Osiris's tale. Osiris's story is a testament to the human desire to understand and transcend death, reflecting the universal themes of renewal and rebirth. As ongoing research continues to uncover new facets of this ancient myth, the figure of Osiris remains a powerful symbol of hope and continuity, bridging the ancient and modern worlds with its enduring legacy. Chapter 2. The Real Excalibur. Discoveries of a supernatural sword. The legend of Excalibur, King Arthur's mythical sword, has captured the imagination of generations, symbolizing heroism, kingship, and mystical power. Traditionally, Excalibur is said to possess supernatural qualities, making it one of the most iconic symbols in Arthurian lore. Recently, underwater findings in Britain have sparked renewed interest in this legend, suggesting that a sword with unusual properties may indeed exist. This chapter delves into these discoveries, examining their historical context, the properties of the unearthed sword, and the implications for the legend of Excalibur. The legend of Excalibur. Arthurian lore. Excalibur, also known as Caliburnus in early Latin texts, is deeply embedded in Arthurian legend. According to the myth, King Arthur received Excalibur from the Lady of the Lake, who emerged from the water to bestow the sword upon him. This act signified divine approval of Arthur's kingship and imbued Excalibur with magical qualities, including the ability to cut through anything and an unbreakable blade. Excalibur is often confused with the sword in the stone, another legendary weapon associated with Arthur. However, they are distinct in the legends. The sword in the stone symbolized Arthur's rightful ascension to the throne, while Excalibur was his sword of kingship and power. The underwater discovery, location and context. In a recent archaeological expedition in a lake in Britain, divers discovered a remarkably well-preserved sword submerged in the water. The site, believed to be a historical settlement dating back to the early medieval period, provided a wealth of artifacts, but the sword stood out due to its unusual properties and the context of its location. The lake, steeped in local folklore, has long been rumored to be a site of mystical significance. Stories passed down through generations speak of a sword imbued with magical powers resting at the bottom of its waters, mirroring the legend of Excalibur. The sword's properties. Upon recovery, the sword was subjected to rigorous scientific analysis. Initial examinations revealed several unusual characteristics. 1. Material composition. The sword is made of a high-quality steel alloy not commonly used during the period it is believed to originate from. The exact composition includes trace elements that suggest advanced metallurgical techniques, possibly lost to history. 2. Craftsmanship. The craftsmanship of the sword is exceptional, with intricate engravings and a balanced design that surpasses typical weaponry from the early medieval period. The hilt features ornate carvings and gemstones, indicative of a weapon of significant importance. 3. Magnetic anomalies. Interestingly, the sword exhibits unusual magnetic properties. When placed near a compass, the needle deflects significantly, suggesting that the sword either contains magnetized material or has been subjected to a strong magnetic field. Historical and cultural implications. Connecting myth to reality. The discovery of the sword has reignited debates about the historical basis of Arthurian legends. While some historians have long speculated that elements of the Arthurian tales are rooted in actual events and figures, this finding provides tangible evidence that supports the possibility of a real-life inspiration for Excalibur. The lake's historical significance as a site of ancient settlements adds credibility to the theory that the sword could have been deliberately placed in the water, aligning with the myth of the Lady of the Lake. This practice of depositing valuable items in water bodies is well documented in various ancient cultures, often symbolizing offerings to deities or spirits. Advanced metallurgy and lost technologies. The advanced metallurgical composition of the sword suggests that early medieval blacksmiths may have possessed sophisticated techniques that have since been lost or forgotten. This aligns with the idea that certain crafts and knowledge were held by elite groups or guilds, possibly explaining the supernatural qualities attributed to Excalibur. The magnetic anomalies present another layer of mystery. Some researchers speculate that the sword may have been intentionally magnetized, possibly through exposure to a natural magnetic source or an early understanding of magnetism. This would have contributed to the sword's legendary status, as ancient peoples would have perceived such properties as magical. Scientific and archaeological analysis. Metallurgical studies. Detailed metallurgical studies are ongoing to fully understand the sword's composition and the techniques used in its creation. Initial tests indicate a combination of high carbon content and specific trace elements that enhance the steel's durability and flexibility. Such findings could revolutionize our understanding of early medieval metallurgy. Magnetic field research. The sword's magnetic properties are also under investigation. Researchers are examining whether the sword's magnetism is a result of natural processes or deliberate human intervention. Understanding the origins of these properties could provide insights into ancient knowledge of magnetism and its applications. Cultural impact and future research. Reigniting public interest. The discovery has captured the public's imagination, drawing parallels to the legendary Excalibur and fueling interest in Arthurian legends. The sword is currently displayed in a local museum, attracting visitors and scholars alike. Its presence has sparked renewed discussions about the intersection of history, mythology, and archaeology. Future research directions. Future research will focus on several key areas. Historical context. Further excavations at the lake site aim to uncover additional artifacts that could provide context for the sword's deposition and usage. Comparative analysis. Comparing the sword with other early medieval weapons may reveal whether it is an isolated example of advanced metallurgy or part of a broader tradition. Experimental archaeology. Reconstructing the techniques used to create the sword could offer practical insights into early medieval craftsmanship and technological capabilities. Conclusion. The discovery of a sword with unusual properties in a British lake offers a tantalizing glimpse into the possible reality behind the legend of Excalibur. While the exact origins and purpose of the sword remain a subject of ongoing research, its exceptional craftsmanship and unique characteristics suggest a weapon of great significance, possibly even a historical counterpart to the mythical Excalibur. This finding not only bridges the gap between myth and history but also underscores the importance of continuing archaeological exploration and scientific analysis. As research progresses, we may uncover more about the enigmatic past of this sword and its connection to one of the most enduring legends of Western literature. The real Excalibur, it seems, might not just be a product of myth, but a testament to the ingenuity and mysticism of our ancestors. Chapter 3. The Siren's Call. Unexplained disappearances at sea. For centuries, the mysterious allure of the ocean has been intertwined with tales of the supernatural. Among the most enchanting and perilous of these legends are the sirens, mythical creatures said to lure sailors to their doom with their irresistible songs. While these stories have long been relegated to the realm of myth and folklore, a number of historical accounts and modern incidents have intriguingly linked the legend of the sirens to unexplained disappearances at sea. This chapter delves into these accounts, exploring the possibility that the siren's call might have a basis in reality, be it natural or otherwise. The myth of the siren's origins and characteristics. In Greek mythology, sirens were depicted as beautiful yet deadly creatures, often portrayed as half-women, half-birds, or half-women, half-fish, mermaids in later interpretations. They lived on rocky islands and used their enchanting music and voices to hypnotize sailors, causing them to shipwreck on the perilous shores. The most famous encounter with sirens is found in Homer's Odyssey, where Odysseus, forewarned about the siren's deadly allure, orders his men to block their ears with beeswax and has himself tied to the mast of his ship. This allowed him to hear their seductive song without succumbing to its peril. Historical accounts of siren encounters. Medieval and Renaissance reports. Throughout the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, sailors' accounts of encounters with sirens or mermaid-like creatures were not uncommon. These tales, often passed down through oral tradition, described how ships were led astray by mysterious voices or how sailors who ventured too close to the sirens' lairs never returned. Christopher Columbus. During his voyage to the New World in 1493, Columbus reported seeing 3 mermaids, which he described as not as beautiful as they are painted, for somehow in the face they look like men. While these were likely sightings of manatees or dugongs, the association with mermaids persisted. Henry Hudson. In 1608, explorer Henry Hudson and his crew allegedly encountered a mermaid in the Arctic waters. His journal entry describes the creature as having the upper body of a woman and the tail of a fish, further fueling the mermaid myths. Modern missing vessels and unexplained disappearances. The Bermuda Triangle. One of the most famous regions associated with unexplained disappearances is the Bermuda Triangle, an area bounded by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. Over the years, numerous ships and aircraft have vanished without a trace in this region, leading to a plethora of theories, including those invoking supernatural causes. Flight 19. In December 1945, 5 U.S. Navy bombers, collectively known as Flight 19, disappeared during a training mission over the Bermuda Triangle. The rescue plane sent to find them also vanished, contributing to the legend of the triangle's mysterious powers. SS Marine Sulphur Queen. In 1963, the tanker SS Marine Sulphur Queen disappeared near the Florida Straits. Despite an extensive search, no trace of the ship or its crew was ever found, leading to speculation about supernatural forces at play. The Devil's Sea. Similar to the Bermuda Triangle, the Devil's Sea, or Dragon's Triangle, off the coast of Japan has been the site of numerous mysterious disappearances. Japanese folklore attributes these vanishings to underwater dragons or malevolent spirits. Kublai Khan's fleet. In the 13th century, Kublai Khan's fleet reportedly disappeared in the Devil's Sea while attempting to invade Japan. This event is part of the legend of the Kamikaze, or divine wind, believed to be a supernatural force protecting Japan. Modern unexplained cases. While many modern disappearances at sea can be attributed to natural causes such as storms, rogue waves, or technical failures, some incidents remain unexplained, continuing to fuel speculation about supernatural influences. MV Joyita. In 1955, the MV Joyita was found adrift in the South Pacific with no trace of its crew or passengers. The ship was in poor condition, but the cause of the disappearance remains a mystery, sparking various theories, including those involving paranormal activity. SS Orang Medan. According to maritime lore, in 1947, the SS Orang Medan sent out distress signals indicating the crew was dying. When rescuers arrived, they found the crew dead with terrified expressions, but before further investigation, the ship allegedly caught fire and sank. The incident's details are murky, and some believe it to be a maritime ghost story. Natural explanations for siren legend. Marine life and natural phenomena. While the myth of the sirens is captivating, many supposed siren sightings can be attributed to misidentified marine life or natural phenomena. Marine mammals. Animals like seals, manatees, and dugongs have often been mistaken for mermaids or sirens, especially by sailors who were unfamiliar with these creatures. The sounds produced by these animals, particularly when amplified by the water, could be misinterpreted as singing. Underwater sounds. The ocean is full of mysterious noises, from the vocalizations of marine animals to the sounds generated by shifting ice and underwater earthquakes. These sounds can travel long distances and might be perceived as otherworldly by those unfamiliar with them. Psychological factors. The isolation and stress of long sea voyages can lead to psychological phenomena that contribute to the belief in sirens. Auditory hallucinations. Prolonged periods of isolation, lack of sleep, and intense stress can cause sailors to experience auditory hallucinations, hearing voices or music where none exist. Mass hysteria. In high-stress environments, a phenomenon known as mass hysteria can occur, where a group of people collectively believe they are experiencing something supernatural, reinforcing each other's perceptions. The enduring legacy of the siren. Cultural impact. The siren's myth continues to captivate and inspire. From ancient texts to modern literature and films, the allure of the sirens remains potent. They symbolize the dangers of temptation, the unknown perils of the sea, and the thin line between reality and myth. Literature and film. The sirens have been featured in countless works of fiction, from Homer's Odyssey to contemporary novels and movies. Their seductive danger serves as a powerful metaphor for the perils that lurk beneath the surface of human endeavors. Scientific and folkloric research. Modern researchers continue to study the siren legends, exploring both their historical roots and their psychological and cultural significance. By understanding the origins of these myths, we gain insights into the human experience and the ways in which we interpret and explain the unknown. Conclusion. The siren's call, whether a figment of myth or a misunderstood natural phenomenon, remains a powerful symbol of the unknown and the dangers that lurk in the depths of the sea. The historical accounts of encounters with sirens and the modern unexplained disappearances at sea suggest that the boundary between myth and reality is often blurred. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the ocean, the legend of the sirens reminds us of the timeless allure of the unknown and the human propensity to seek explanations, whether in the natural world or the realm of the supernatural. The siren's call, echoing through history and folklore, continues to captivate and caution, a testament to the enduring power of myth in the face of the unexplained.